Today, we're going to be doing a shootout between the SM57 and the RJ57, manufactured by RJ Guitars locally here in the Philippines. This thing costed only 900 pesos, which is the equivalent of about one ramen bowl in California, or $17 if that's how you want to think about it, which is unbelievably inexpensive as compared to a 57, which could cost up to about $120. So that alone made me very intrigued and want to test it out in a shootout.
First, we'll do a blind test between the RJ and SM57s as spot mics on a snare drum, and then we're going to do a blind test between both on a guitar cab in a full mix. Here are the results. Microphone A was, in fact, the RJ57, and microphone B was the SM57.
So, unfortunately, with these kinds of tests, you have to make a compromise between either choosing to get the mics in the same place and using a different performance, or using the same performance but having the mics slightly positioned. So what we opted to do was to, and by we I mean Inigo, so kindly positioned the mics as close or as equidistant from one of the tuning lugs as he could, and this is the best we could do for now.
We'll be running the SM57 on the snare, but we're going to be blind testing between the RJ and the SM57s on the guitar cab. Before that though, let's talk about the gear we're using to get the guitar tones that we got.
So the signal chain is going from a Focusrite Claret.
Yeah.
This is my Behringer Ultra DI, using it as an adapter to go from PL to XLR, and then outputting that signal through this reamp box. It's a Radial Pro RMP Studio reamper, I suppose.
Yeah.
We're outputting that through an Ibanez TS9 reissue, ye old, my favorite. And this is hitting a PV 6505 Plus. This is being sent to the isolation booth. In there is a cabinet loaded with
Eminence Red Fangs.
an Eminence Eminence plural. You've got more than one?
It's two.
Dang.
It's a cab of two. But I have three.
What?
Yeah.
So in this room, let's take a look in there. Do you happen to know which cab
Oh yeah.
you're using? So here's the mic stand for the test,
The one under.
right? I don't know what cab this is, but
Yeah. It's a put together cab.
it's a you put it together?
No, it was just put together.
Huh. All right. Well, the Red Fang's in there.
Alright, let's run it. Once again, the RJ57 was mic A. The SM57 was mic B. Let's get a side-by-side comparison between both mics in the full mix.
man, I honestly can't believe how viable this thing is. I was not expecting very much, only paying about $17 for the thing. I also think that because it's a little bit brighter than the 57, if you're shooting for a kind of in the ballpark of a 57 sound, you can compensate by moving the microphone a little bit off axis to get a little bit of a darker sound. That's ways that you can kind of get different tones out of that microphone. If you want it to sound, if you really want it to sound like a 57. Although I think you probably shouldn't buy it with it being a 57 clone in mind. What do you think, Inigo?
You can think of it as a alternative mic if you want your sound source to sound a little bit brighter. If your speaker's a little bit darker, like what we use.
Oh yeah, the Red Fang's really dark.
Yeah, if you're using the usual sound sources like Vintage 30 or a Greenback Celestion, which already has the mid-forward characteristic, then
Probably not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would sound bright.
You also mentioned a while ago that you might be interested in using it as a bottom snare mic.
Yeah, because of the high frequency reception it does. It gets some of the high frequency and the
So like the
frequency
snare
graph.
rattle.
Yeah, the snare
Yeah.
rattle, and it can be an alternative to a hi-hat mic if you don't want it that bright.
Hmm.
And if you want some attack on your skin, on your heads, then I think the RJ captures more of the attack more than the SM57.
Very interesting.
The slap.
I wanted to give one more round of thoughts on the RJ57. It's been about a week since I did the shootout, and some of my feelings about the mic have changed a little bit since then. Not that much, not drastically, but I did want to mention a few things that I didn't consider before I realized that we didn't test for durability. One of the big selling points of the Shure SM57, of course, the SM57 is a very reliable microphone when it comes to gigs and taking it on tour. If you're a hard-hitting drummer and you accidentally smash the SM57 with your drumstick, it's not going to break and it's not going to lose any of its qualities. I'm not entirely sure that you can say that about the RJ57 because we didn't test it that way. One other thing I wanted to mention was that the RJ and the SM57s both seem to me like they have about the same level of rejection, at least when it came to bleed coming from the ride cymbal and the hi-hat during the drum solo portion of the video. Overall, I still think I would prefer the SM57 for its balanced and clear mid-range. I do think that the RJ is a little bit difficult to tame in a mix, and you do have to take the time to find those frequencies that could be problematic and cut them out with an EQ. And that's time consuming, and of course time is always a consideration in the studio. I would say, if you have $120 in your pocket, I would give the RJ about a 3 out of 5. But if you only have $20 in the pocket, I would give the RJ a 5 out of 5.
So that's about it for our maybe not so comprehensive review of the 57. I mean, the RJ57. But I hope that you all were just as excited as I was to really take this mic for a spin. I was really surprised at some of the guitar tones we got from it, and I'm really happy that I am now the proud owner of a viable microphone. I was not expecting to be that when I purchased it. I shouldn't put that in the video. All right. We'll see you later.